All right, guys. So the rules for the not for me Democrats are back at it again, as some high-profile Democrats are getting caught violating their own rules in regards to masks. Now, if you guys haven't heard, mask mandates seem to be back, right? They seem to be coming back as the president and the government tries to figure out what to do about this Delta variant spreading. Now, again, you know, just like all of my videos when I talk about the virus or the vaccine, anything like that, I'm not making any claims whatsoever at all. Okay, if you got any questions about the virus or the vaccine, please consult your medical professional. This video is purely about public policy. Again, I am not making any claims whatsoever. Now, the Democrat that got caught this time, right, is DC Mayor Muriel Bowser, right? She got caught at a wedding officiating without a mask less than 24 hours after she implemented mask mandates. All right, so let's watch this real quick.
Is Mayor of Washington, D.C., which will someday be the 51st state. I now pronounce you husband and wife.
See, you can't even officiate a wedding without throwing in some politics, right? Can't even officiate a wedding without throwing in some politics. So let's read a little bit more here. Videos and photos circulating on social media show a maskless DC Mayor Muriel Bowser officiating a large wedding in the district on Saturday despite a newly reinstated indoor mask mandate in the nation's capital. Social media posts show many people attending the wedding Saturday at the Lawn DC, a 5-star hotel in Adams, Morgan. Bowser officiated a wedding on the hotel's rooftop before drinks and dancing that later headed inside. As you can see here, it looks like inside there are no masks. Nobody's wearing masks, so I'm going to assume that she probably was not wearing masks. And guys, like I said, I'm not surprised about this. This is par for the course when it comes to Democrats and their rules, right? And they don't have to follow them because they're the elite, right? They don't have to follow them because they're the elite. And then they want to chastise other people whom are not following the rules when they're not even following their own rules. They're not setting the example, right? And guys, isn't this the same thing that they got on Trump for all last year? Like, oh, you're not setting a good example. You're not wearing your mask. You're not social distancing. You're not doing that. You're not doing this. You're not doing that, right? Didn't they criticize Trump for that, right? So when they're in charge, and they was doing this before they was even in charge, but when they're in charge, all of a sudden, when it comes to their own little events and the things they're doing in their elite circles, oh, the rules don't apply to them. Doesn't apply. Bowser officiated the event less than 24 hours after being photographed maskless with comedian Dave Chappelle on Friday night at the Anthem, where Chappelle performed a comedy set. The celebration occurred a few days before Bowser's birthday on Monday. How much you guys want to bet? How much do you guys want to bet that this mayor will probably be celebrating maskless, right? How much do you guys want to bet? Okay, I would bet a lot of money on that she will be celebrating in a way that will be a violation of her own rules. I bet, right? But she's not the only mainstream Democrat violating her own rules, as Pelosi was also caught violating her own rules, as she has implemented mask mandates back on the House floor, which has sparked a lot of controversy, particularly among Republicans who've been opposed to this, okay? Now, Pelosi was seen removing her mask, and obviously when Pelosi removes her mask in violation of her own rules, there is no consequences. So let's read a little bit more here. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi removed her mask to take a photo with the newest congressman from Texas in what appeared to be a violation of the Capitol Police's mask guidance. Pelosi ditched her mask briefly while taking a photo with the newly minted Representative Jake Inslee, Republican of Texas, the day after Capitol Police were directed to arrest staffers and visitors who refused to wear masks on the House side of the Capitol. Although the mask dropping was only for a few seconds and outside the bounds of the House chambers, where Pelosi has imposed her own fine for going maskless, the Friday video went viral online. All right, so let's watch a little bit of this. Oh my God, this is such a show. So yeah, they're removing the mask to take pictures, okay? Which again, kind of defeats the purpose of having the mandate, right? It really defeats the purpose. Some people say, well, they're just taking a picture. It's just a few seconds to take the picture. I mean, bro, you don't really get the benefit of the doubt, right? Like, would Pelosi and the Democrats give Republicans the benefit of the doubt? Did they ever give Republicans the benefit of the doubt all last year? No. No. They never gave Republicans the benefit of the doubt when it comes to this type of stuff. So why should Democrats get the benefit of the doubt? And Pelosi, I've seen numerous pictures of her not wearing a mask after she implemented her own rules. And again, she has a history of this, right? Going all the way back to what happened last year. I think it was like during the fall where she went to the salon that was closed, right? San Francisco was closed down. She went to the salon to get her hair did, to get her weave did, okay? Again, not wearing a mask, okay? Again, despite the fact that she imposed lockdowns to make other people not be able to get that same service. But because she's a part of an elite company, she's an elitist, yeah, she decided she can just do it, right? Rules for me, not for thee. And this comes as, you know, the Biden administration really is dealing with the question of whether or not to implement more lockdowns. Now, this was his deputy press secretary, I believe, speaking about the issue in which she wasn't really ruling out the possibility of more lockdowns. Take a look.
President Biden says that we are not returning to lockdowns, shutdowns, and school closures, but he also once said that we didn't have to wear masks anymore once we were vaccinated. So why should Americans trust him now?
Well, because we listen to the scientists, we listen to the expert. This is a public health situation. This is not about politics at all. This is about saving lives. And this is what the president is all about. He wants to make sure that we are saving lives. If you look at, Peter, the last 6 months, that's what he's done every day. And you see that in the numbers. Now we're at a point where we have to double down and make it very, very clear to people that we can't let the pandemic win. We have to continue to fight.
So if you're listening to the science, if scientists come to you at some point down the line and say it is our opinion that there should be shutdowns and there should be school closures, you would do that?
Well, we listen to, like I said, we listen to the CDC and the expert and their guidance. The CDC is a body that is very well respected, and we follow their.
All right, guys. So the irony of all this, and I kind of predicted this like literally right before it happened, is that the Democrats not following their own rules is kind of the reasons why we're headed back towards these mask mandates and these lockdowns, to be quite honest with you. Because like I told you guys, when all the people on the right were, you know, making fun of the fact that the fugitive Democrats were caught on a private jet with no mask, right, not following the rules, and then those same Democrats, you know, caught COVID, I said, you know, for as ironic as it is, right, that this happened to them, it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing that happened because, guys, I'm going to tell you, the Democrats are good at turning around the narrative, right? They're good at using their bad moments and turning them around to push their own agenda. And that's literally what happened because at the time I said, yeah, they're probably going to use this as a reason to be like, oh, no, we need more mask mandates and we need to, you know, go back on lockdown. And lo and behold, literally right after that major high-profile event of these Democrats getting COVID, right? Look what happened, right? Look the direction that we're headed in. Now, with that being said, guys, I got to be honest here. I don't think that we're headed back towards lockdowns, to be quite honest with you. And put it this way, at least not as bad as it was last year. One, because I think red states are basically going to refuse to do it, one. And then two, because businesses are just going to refuse, right? Small businesses at this point, they're not going back, right? A lot of businesses are not going back. A lot of businesses just like, no, we're not doing this anymore. Also, on top of that, I do not see a scenario in which the government can spend trillions of more dollars, right, to do more stimulus for the economy if the government decide to lock down the economy the way they did last year. Right? There's no way I can see that ever being plausible. Okay? Even though the Democrats do want to spend trillions on their infrastructure package, but I'm just saying, like, they want to spend trillions on that, and then imagine going back into lockdown, and then you have to spend trillions more to do exactly what we did last year. right? Which we're seeing the negatives effects of that today. We're seeing how that is, again, caused inflation, contributed to inflation. We see this housing crisis. We see this eviction moratorium crisis. We see all types of crises and problems popping up from the fact that we locked down and we spent so much money last year with less real economic activity. Now, again, like I said, I mean, that to me, I just don't see a scenario in which that happens again. And I know a lot of people are afraid of lockdowns, but I think that it's just not that plausible, right? I think that probably what's gonna happen is that they're just gonna have more mandates, right? There's gonna be more either mask mandates or vaccine mandates. I think that's probably what's going to happen. I don't see a scenario where we go back into lockdowns. I just don't, right? I just think it's just too economically costful. I think it would kill the Democrats in the midterm. I think it's something they'll float out there. I don't think it's something they will actually really do. Because again, remember, Trump probably lost last year mainly because of how the Democrats framed his handling of this pandemic. And again, if we head back to lockdown world, the Republicans could easily use that same framing to go after the Democrats and to question them on their handling of the pandemic, right? Which I think, again, would be very effective, considering the fact that I just think another lockdown would be so unpopular among the people. And I think that would be true even among, more moderate Democrats, to be quite honest with you. But who knows? I could be wrong about this. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.